Just a minute. कृष्ण, आप लोगों को मेरे स्क्रीन पे क्या दिख रहा है?
Book Prabhuji, from paragraph by definition religion is that.
ओके, और इसके अलावा क्या दिख रहा है?
Nothing else Prabhuji, that only.
Okay, fine. So ठीक है, स्टार्ट करते हैं. So it is not possible to manufacture a religion. Very important point. It is not possible to manufacture a religion. A true religion must come from an authorized source, and that source is either God or his representative. So what is that meaning? The representative. Okay. So, a lot of chats are coming. Krishna Chaitanya. Okay, fine. So, a true religion must come from an authorized source, and that source is either God or his representative. Religion has been called the law of God. It is not possible for a person to manufacture a state law. The law is there, and it is given by the state. One may create some bylaws for his own society, but these laws must be sanctioned by the laws of the state. Similarly, if we wish to make some principle of religion, it must be sanctioned by the Vedic authority. So, meaning is very clear here. If someone is concocting some methods that someone is thinking, okay, why should we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Let us create our own mantra. Dam maro dam, mit jayegam, bolo subha sam, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Okay, very nice mantra. So let us make our own principles. So in this statement, it is very clear. These kind of things are not allowed because only God and his representative create the principles, and we are supposed to follow the principles, just like Prabhupada suggested us 4 regulative principles. That means we cannot change it. Prabhupada is a representative of God. He is a representative of our Gaudiya Parampara. So we cannot change that rules. What we can do? We can modify the details. There are 2 things. One is a principle. Second is the detail. We do not have access over the principles. We cannot change the principles. Just like 4 regulative principles: no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication. We cannot say that, okay, Kali Yuga is degrading more now. One regulations cannot be possible. No, in any circumstances, these 4 regulative principles should be followed in all circumstances. So what is the second thing is details. Details means, yeah, we need to follow 4 regulative principles, and we need to chant 16. So detail means our current acharyas gave the suggestion that of course, you have to do 16 rounds every day. Okay, if you are unable to complete your 16 rounds in a one round, one sitting round, then you may take two sitting rounds, three sitting rounds, or some part in office, some part after office. So these are details. So these two things are there, principle and details. We have access over details, but not on principles. And people in general, they have a tendency to create principles, new religion. And therefore, it is very important to understand that there are many unauthorized religions. And they are, of course, very successful. But in the eyes of God and the authority, Vedic authority, it is not sanctioned. If someone is following them, that means they are not properly connected in Krishna consciousness. So to be properly connect with Krishna, we have to follow those religions which are approved by God, Krishna, and his representative. Who is representative of Krishna? So our acharyas, just like Lord Brahma received this in knowledge from Krishna. And after Brahma, Narada Muni, after Narada Muni, Vyasdev, in this parampara, then it came to our Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and then his disciple, A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Srila Prabhupada, and then after his disciples coming down to us. So this is the method of receiving knowledge, and these methods, this process, and this culture, we, we say it as a religion. And if we are not following these things which are approved by Krishna, then that is unauthorized religion. So in our society, or in today's world, there are many hundreds of religions. They have concocted their own methods, own mantras, own practices, own the vision. Everything is concocted, and therefore they are doing nothing, just putting the husk, and they will not get any result, because the the purpose of religion is to connect us with Krishna. And if religion is not authorized, then how we can get our connection with Krishna? Just like a post office. Suppose any man is thinking, okay, let us. I have a big home house, so let me convert my house into post office. You just he uh, write the front of his house post office. So just by writing post office, that house will not become post office unless that house is approved, authorized by the Indian government. Similarly, by just making buildings, creating a trust, and setting up some rules, regulations, that will not become religion unless it is approved by God, Krishna. So therefore, it is very important to be alert when we are being introduced, and people are introducing themselves as a religious organization and asking for some XYZ service donations, and they are trying to give you their own philosophy, books, XYZ, many things they will give. So first we should check their authenticity, how much they are authentic, and how, in what way they are authentic. So in this way, we can protect ourselves by being deviated. Everyone, just like everyone, if suppose if you just use the uh, police officer's uniform, so you will not be a police officer because you are not authorized by the Indian government as a police officer. Just by just by using the dress code of your police, we cannot we cannot be uh, recognized as a police officer. Similarly, every religion, organization, trust, buildings, racing courts, tilak, chanting, it will not it will be useless because it is not authentic. It has no authenticity. It has no access given by the law. So therefore, we should see and we should protect ourselves. In this world, there are many such religions. The only purpose is to cheat people, to gain their money and exploit them and cheat them. So therefore, in this paragraph, it is very clear we should learn to protect ourselves by understanding who can create religion. For example, someone is just thinking, I have enough knowledge and I can make some people fool for some time. Okay, let us make some organization. So it is a foolish mentality. So therefore, we should be very submissive to our acharyas and our parampara because our parampara is very much authorized. And for the authorization, this organization has given a lot of challenges. This organization has received many challenges. Bhakti Siddhant Maharaj received challenges, Prabhupada received challenges, and our previous acharyas, they received many challenges and they defeated all the challenges, and therefore it is proved by all the other authorized organization as a ISKCON is an authorized organization, is the Brahma Madhva Gaudi Sampradaya. We are Brahma Madhva Gaudi Sampradaya. So in this way, we should understand the importance of authorized religion and unauthorized religion. So Bhagavad Gita is also religion. Great authorities like Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vishnu Swami, Lord Chaitanya, Shankaracharya, and so many others have accepted Bhagavad Gita as the supreme principle of religion and Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. There is no doubt about it. In the West, also Bhagavad Gita accepted as a great book of philosophy, and many great scholars and philosophers in the West have read it and commented upon it. Despite acceptance by the scholars and acharyas, there are persons who do not accept Bhagavad Gita and who have no faith. They do not accept it at all as authority, for they think that is some sentimental exaggeration by a man known as Krishna. Thus, Krishna states in the above quoted verse that those who reject Bhagavad Gita as authority cannot have any connection with him. And because they have no relation to him, they remain in the cycle of birth and death. Aprapya mam nivartante mrityum samsara vartmani. Being subjected to samsara, the cycle of birth and death, does not guarantee that one will necessarily get a similar facility for understanding Bhagavad Gita in the next life. One may not necessarily be born again as a human being or in America or in India. or even on this planet. There is no certainty. It all depends on our work. On the path of birth and death, we take our birth, remain for some time, enjoy or suffer, then again give up this body and enter into the womb of a mother, either human being or animal. Then prepare another body to come out and begin our work again. This is called Mrityu Samsara Vartmani. If one wants to avoid this path, he must take to Krishna consciousness. So, if someone unfortunately got connected with the unauthorized religions, so because that religion has no connection with Krishna, then all the people of unauthorized religions, they will remain subject to samsara, the cycle of birth and death. And of course, just like in this paragraph, there is no certainty that we will take again human body. May uncertainty to take birth in again in India or in rich country or in rich family, there is no certainty. So in this way, unfortunately, that person get doomed. His life get doomed. So therefore, it is very important to understand that all religion organizations are not authorized, and similarly, all the books written written or commented by some people are not scriptures. It doesn't mean that I have written some book and I say my book title is Bhagavad Gita, then it becomes scripture. No, as all the organization cannot be authorized. Similarly, all the scriptures cannot be authorized unless it has the blessings approved by Krishna or Guru Parampara. So it is also important that we should be very alert if we are reading the books which are not comes under the banner of parampara, because if we are reading any book which doesn't come under the parampara, that knowledge is not connecting us with Krishna. Actually, the purpose, the goal, the purpose of knowledge is to know Krishna. And if the knowledge which you are reading books and that book is not approved or authorized by the parampara, then that knowledge cannot connect us with Krishna. Therefore, while reading books, we should also be very certain that these books should be under the banner of our Param. If books are not written by our acharyas and books are written by the uh, worldly man, then it is very important that we should protect ourselves, because if but in immaturity we are reading those books, then those knowledge may deviate us and to the different path. So in this way, although we may be physically in the Krishna consciousness moment, but because we have received some false information or false philosophy, so we may be distracted. We may get lose taste in our the sadhana. So it is very important that we should not read books which are not approved by our acharyas. So it is also very important. When Yudhishthira Maharaj was asked, "What is the most wonderful thing in the world?" he replied, "The most wonderful thing is that every day, every moment, people are dying, and yet everyone thinks that death will not come for him." Yeah, I have experience. I went in some one or some time crematory, And I saw that people, how they are mingling, how they are talking, and even they are giving the last ceremony to the dead body. Still, they are like nothing happened. So yeah, I have seen this. Every minute and every second, we experience that living entities are going to the temple of death. Temple of death. Men, insects, animals, birds, everyone is going. This world, therefore, is called Mrityulok, the planet of death. Every day, there are obituaries, and if we bother to go to the cemetery or crematorium grounds, we can validate them. Yet, everyone is thinking, somehow or other, I'll live. Everyone is subject to the law of death, yet no one takes it seriously. This is illusion. Just like previously we had discussed, there are two sub-energies of illusion. One, Prakshepatra energy, and second, Avaratmika energy. So with combined with these two energies, illusions, illusory energy always uh, keep us in illusion. Thinking we will live forever, we go on doing whatever we like, feeling that we will never be held responsible. This is a very risky life, and it is the densest part of illusion. We should become very serious and understand that death is waiting. We have heard the expression as sure as death. This means that in this world, death is the most certain thing. No one can avoid it. When death comes, no longer will our puffed up philosophy or advanced degrees help us. That time, at that time, our short and strong body and our intelligence, which doesn't care for anything, are vanquished. At that time, the fragmental portion comes under the dictation of material nature, and Prakriti gives us the type of body for which we are fit. If we want to take this risk, we can avoid Krishna. If we do not want to take it, Krishna will come to help us. So it's very practical. That takes over all our opulences, all our paraphernalias, all our success, all our fame, strength, degrees, properties, everything, knowledge, everything. Death is taking all these things, and we are observer. We have been seeing these things that many big people they had a good wealth, good fame, good knowledge. Everything is now not with them, and we don't know where are they now. So death is certain in the world. If anything is certain, that is death. So it has another meaning that when we are planning something in our lives to do something, then we should always keep in mind that whatever we are going to plan, that could not be our first priority, because we are not the in whole controller of everything. We are subordinate to control. We are subordinate to the supreme controller. So if we are making any program or plan, then there is no necessity that our program, our goal will be completely successful as per your mind. No, we are subordinate. Our position is to subordinate towards Krishna, towards material energy. So therefore, being Krishna consciousness should be our first priority. I'm again repeating. To become Krishna conscious should be our first duty, because this is the spiritual activities, and the spiritual activities get never damaged. But other material activities, as long as we have body, that sustain. After just leaving this body, all the material knowledge, strength, fame, accumulation, everything will go in doom. So it is therefore very important uh, to analyze and understand the importance of Krishna consciousness. And our first responsibility towards our life is to become Krishna conscious. In this way, we can save our life. So we are now discussing uh, knowledge of Krishna, and it is very important. It may be noted at this point that the ninth chapter of Bhagavad Gita is especially meant for those who have already accepted Sri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, it is meant for his devotees. If one does not accept Sri Krishna as the Supreme, this ninth chapter will appear as something different from what it actually is. As stated in the beginning, the subject matter of the ninth chapter is the most confidential material in the entire Bhagavad Gita. If one does not accept Krishna as the Supreme, he will think the chapter to be a mere exaggeration. This is especially the case with the verses dealing with Krishna's relationship with his creation. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina madhusthani sarvabhutani na chaham tesu avastitah. Very nice sloka. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Very interesting. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. So, very twist. We'll understand here. The world which we see is also Krishna's energy, his Maya. Here, Maya means by, sorry, here, Maya means by me, as if one says, this work has been done by me. This, by me, does not mean that he has done his work and has finished or retired. If I start a large factory and I say, this factory was started by me, in no case should it be concluded that I am lost or in any way not present. Although a manufacturer may refer to his products as being manufactured by me, it does not mean that he personally created or constructed his product, but that the product was produced by his energy. Similarly, if Krishna says, whatever you see in the world was created by me, we are not to suppose that he is no longer existing. Many people say that no, God has become old or he has died. So these people are foolish because they are speculating based on their uh, loose intelligence, loose and old and dull intelligence. It is not very difficult to see God everywhere in the creation. If He is everywhere present, just as in the Ford factory, the workers see Mr. Ford in every corner. Those who are conversant with the science of Krishna can see Him in every atom of creation. Everything is resting on Krishna. Mat sthani sarva bhutani. But Krishna is not there. Na chaham tesa avasthita. Krishna and his energy are non-different. Yet the energy is not Krishna. The sun and the sun sign are not different. But the sun sign is not the sun. The sun sign may come through our windows and enter our room. But this is not to say that the sun is in our room. The Vishnu Purana states, Parasya Brahmanam Saktiha. Parasya means supreme, Brahmana means absolute truth, and Sakti means energy. The energy of the absolute, supreme absolute is everything. But in that energy, Krishna is not to be found. So I hope you got the understanding here that Krishna is present everywhere, is compared with the analogy with the sun and sun sign. Just like in our room, we see sun sign and we say we consider as a sun because sun sign is a part and parcel of sun. But sun is present but not as a actual form. Sun is present as their part and parcel. So Krishna is present in all atoms through his energies. I think you are understanding these all things. There are two kinds of energy, material and spiritual. Jivas or individual souls belong to the superior energy of Krishna. But because they are prone to be attracted to the material energy, they are called marginal energy. Basically, there are two kinds of energies. So we are not material, we are spiritual energy. But because we are prone to be attracted to the material energy, just like a boy prone to be attracted towards a girl. Similarly, this Jiva Atma is prone to be attracted to the material energy. Therefore, these energy, these Jiva are called marginal energy. But actually, there are only two energies. All of the planetary systems and universes are resting on the energies of Krishna. Just as all the planets in the solar system are resting in the sun sign, everything within the creation is resting on Krishna's sign. All of these potencies of the Lord give pleasures to a devotee, but one who is envious of Krishna rejects them. When one is a non-devotee, the statements of Krishna seem to be so much bluff. But when one is a devotee, he thinks, oh, my Lord is so powerful, and he becomes filled with love and adoration. Non-devotees think that because Krishna says, I am God, they and everyone else can say the same. But if asked to show their universal form, they cannot do it. That is the difference between a pseudo god and the real god. Krishna's pastimes cannot be imitated. I'm repeating here. Krishna's pastimes cannot be imitated. Krishna married over 16,000 wives and kept them nicely in 16,000 palaces. But an ordinary man cannot even keep one wife nicely. It is not that Krishna just spoke so many wonderful things. He also acted wonderfully. We should not believe on one thing that Krishna says and does and reject another if belief is there. It must be full belief. So the last line is very important. That we should not be a selective listener. If I like this sloka, if I like this statement, then I'll accept it. And second paragraph, second sloka, second statements, I don't like, then I reject it. No. In all cases, we should accept fully. Yeah, it could be possible that we may not be able to currently practice the advanced sloka, yeah, advanced paragraph or instructions, but in due course of time, if we are keeping on ourselves on the process and practicing, then in few times we'll be able to execute and practice on the other teachings by Krishna. So therefore it is important to not be a selective listener. It is being a selective listener means we are giving Maya a chance to cover us, our Atmika Sakti, Prakshepatmika Sakti. If we are becoming a selective listener, then we are giving Maya access to control us and manipulate us and again throw us in the whirlpool of material existence. So how Maya do this? Maya execute through our speculative propensity. Maya just put some thoughts in our subtle body or in mind, and then we start speculation, and then speculation comes with a decision, and that decision we take and we trapped, we got in. So therefore, it is important that we should not be a selective listener. We should we should listen wholeheartedly and full belief. So in this way only we can protect ourselves from Maya. Otherwise, if we are becoming selective listener, then there is 100% possibility of being deluded in Maya. In this regard, there is a story of Narad Muni who was once asked by a Brahman, "Oh, you are going to meet the Lord? Will you please ask him when I'm going to get my salvation?" "All right," Narad agreed. "I shall ask him." As Narad proceeded, he met a cobbler who was sitting under a tree mending shoes, and the cobbler similarly asked Narad, "Oh, you are going to see God. Will you please inquire of him when my salvation will come?" When Narad Muni went to the Vaikuntha planets, he fulfilled their request and asked Narayan, God, about the salvation of the Brahmana and the cobbler. And Narayana replied, "After leaving this body, the cobbler shall come here to me." "What about the Brahmana?" Narad asked. He will have to remain there for a number of births. I do not know when he is coming. Narad Muni was astonished and he finally said, I cannot understand the mystery of this. That you will see, Narayan said. When they ask you what I am doing in my abode, tell them that I am threading the eyes of a needle with an elephant. इसका मतलब है कि सुई के जो छेद होता है उसमें से हाथी को निकल रहे हैं, एक पार से दूसरे पार भगवान कर रहे हैं. When Narad returned to earth and approached the Brahmana said, "Oh, you have seen the Lord. What was he doing?" He was threading an elephant through the eye of a needle. Narad answered, I don't believe such nonsense. The Brahmana replied. Narada could immediately understand that the man had no faith and that he was simply a reader of books. Narada then left and went on to the cobbler, who asked him, Oh, you have seen the Lord. Tell me, what was he doing? He was threading an elephant through the eye of a needle, Narada replied. The cobbler began to weep. Oh, my Lord is so wonderful. He can do anything. Do you really believe that the Lord can push an elephant through the hole of a needle? Narada asked. Why not? The cobbler said, Of course, I believe it. How is that? You can see that I am sitting under this banyan tree. The cobbler answered. And you can see that so many fruits are falling daily, and in each seed there is a banyan tree like this one. If within a small seed there can be a big tree like this, is it difficult to accept that the Lord is pushing an elephant through the eye of a needle? So this is called faith. So what I mean to say, one should not be a selective listener or reader. That means we should read the text with full faith. That whatever is in the in our in the Shastras, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, in these books, in these scriptures, whatever are there, everything should be accepted with whole faith, with complete faith. So in this way, we can protect ourselves. It is not a question of blindly believing. There is reason behind the belief. If Krishna can put a large tree within so many little seeds, is it so astounding that he is keeping all the planetary systems floating in the space through his energy? Although scientists may think that the planets are being held in space simply by nature alone, behind nature there is the Supreme Lord. Nature is acting under his guidance, as Sri Krishna states, Maya dakshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. This material nature is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, and is producing all moving and non-moving beings. By its rule, this manifestation is being created and annihilated again and again. So, very important point we are reading here. Maya Dhakshena means under my supervision. Material nature cannot act so wonderfully unless the Lord's hand is behind it. Again repeating, material nature cannot act so wonderfully unless the Lord's hand is behind it. We cannot give any example of material things automatically working Matter is inert, and without the spiritual touch, there is no possibility of its acting. Matter cannot act independently or automatically. Machines may be very wonderfully constructed, but unless a man touches that machine, it cannot work. And that is that man. He is a spiritual spark. Without spiritual touch, nothing can move. Therefore, everything is resting on Krishna's impersonal energy. Krishna's energy is impersonal, but he is a person. Krishna is a person. We often hear of persons performing wonderful actions, yet, despite their energetic accomplishments, they still remain persons. If this is possible for human beings, why is it not possible for the Supreme Lord? We are all persons, but we are all dependent upon Krishna, the Supreme Person. So, just like a man, a big man who is running many hundreds factories, and he is able to run all the factories just by sitting at one place. So, why not it's possible to Krishna? Krishna is the Supreme Person, Supreme Personality of God. So it should be the more easy for him to do such kind of activities. So in this paragraph, there is a one more point that he is a person. Many people say that Krishna, God has no form. If person has no form, then this kind of statement, if we are saying, then we are nothing more than a fool. Person, if we say person means he has the form. Similarly, Krishna is a person. And what kind of person? He is a spiritual person. Therefore, his form is spiritual, not material like us. His form is Salchit Ananda Vigraha, Anadi Adi Govinda Sarvakaran Karanam. So his form is eternal, blissful, and full of joy. So in our, our form is made of material elements, and Krishna's form is Divya, is the eternal, spiritual body. So therefore, to conceive, to understand the spiritual body, how spiritual body would be like, we cannot understand through our material intelligence. To understand the subject matter, spiritual subject matters, we need a spiritual intelligence. So therefore, by reading the Shastras, by practicing Krishna consciousness, our intelligence gets purified and it gets the energy through the spiritual energy, and it comes at the level of spiritual platform, and then we can understand the spiritual subject matters easily. But those who are not pure in their intelligence and faith, they cannot understand subject matters directly related to Krishna consciousness. Therefore, it is very important to develop the purity in our thoughts, purity in our existence. And in this way, we can become easily blissful in Krishna consciousness. So, okay, I think we should uh, stop here. And if anyone has any question, so please let me know. Please, if anyone have any question. Okay, so before stopping the closing, I want to see you all. So open your faces. Okay, Sudarshan Pandey and Sai Namitinda Prabhu. Okay, Mohammed Prabhu and Sai Vinayak Prabhu, who are in dark Brahmajyoti. Brahmajyoti means white and effulgent. Completely black means Hellis planet. And okay, thank you. And Mono Prabhu. Okay, Anush Prabhu. Anush Prabhu. Okay, fine. So, can you tell me 3 points today's lecture? Today's not lecture, today's reading. 3 points. Are you able to speak or not? Because no one is speaking. Yeah. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Oh, yeah. Everyone can speak. Good.
Yes, Rahul Prabhu, please go ahead.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah, Rahul.
Prabhuji, we discussed about the religion. I mean, the paragraph which we discussed today is about the religion which connects. So the true religion is that which connects us with the God. And we can say a religion is the law of God. And one must sure thing we should have is the faith uh, in the religion. And प्रभु जी एक वर्स था जिसमें बताया था अप्राप्य माम निर्तन्ते मृत्यु संसार वर्तमनि. It means this is about on the path of birth and death. It means we take our birth, remain for some time, enjoy or suffer, then again give up this body and enter in the womb of other. I mean, enter into the womb of a mother, either human being or animal, and then prepare another body to come out and begin our work again, all because of our ignorance towards the knowledge. And the most wonderful thing when asked by the Yudhishthir, I mean to the Yudhishthir Maharaj, he asked, उन्होंने कहा कि every day, every moment, people are dying, and yet everyone thinks that death will not come for them.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, okay, thank you. So let us stop here today's session, and